What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the electric guitar tutorial, the lead and rhythm guitar tutorial for Never Have I Ever by Hillsong Young and Free. This video is also a demo of the song-specific Helix, HX Stomp, HX Effects, and Pod Go song-specific patch. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so this song is in the key of C major, and if you watch the Best Friends video, I did mention that Hillsong likes to have their backbone, guitar part, synth part, whatever, and really interlace that throughout the entire theme of the song. So that backbone part is that main part you hear at the beginning of Never Have I Ever, and that part sounds like this with effects. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into that part. So I'm using a Strat, and I'm using the middle pickup for my tone. And that chord progression is C, E minor, A minor, F. I'm gonna dive into a little bit of guitar theory. So this is what's called a root 5 fifth power chord. It is the root and the fifth note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's the whole idea throughout this part. It's all fifth chords. So the first two chords are going to be root 5, meaning it's going to be on the A string, the fifth string. Then you're gonna play the C note, which is the 3rd fret A string, and the G note, which is the 5th fret D string. And then you're gonna slide up to the E minor chord still on the same strings, root 5, 1st finger, 7th fret, and I like to use my pinky on this. You could use your ring finger, but for some reason when I use this shape, I'm using the rest of my fingers to really mute the other strings, especially for this part, because I like to dig into it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually hitting all the strings, and I don't want the other strings to ring out. I just want the 1 and the 5 to ring out. So C, E minor, 7th fret A string, 9th fret D string. Now you're gonna go to root 6 guitar 5 chords, power chords. So your root is on the 5th fret E string, and your your pinky or ring finger is on the 7th fret A string. That's your A minor chord, power chord right there. And then you're gonna shift down to 1st fret E string, 3rd fret A string. So I'm gonna go over the strumming pattern for you. It's down, up, 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 down. Down, up, 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 down. So between my E minor and my A minor chord, I did a little extra shuffle in there. You can add that as well. So it's really important, this part, especially when you listen to the track, that guitar part hard cuts out. It's like dead quiet after you play the. So one way to do that is tighten up on your fingers here and mute down here. So I'm literally palm muting on the strings. So then the next part is really quite the opposite. It's very melodic and it's way more ambient. That part that we just played is like really dry, maybe a little bit of reverb, no delay. So that part is going to be your pre-chorus, and what that looks like on the guitar is I'm actually barring the 12th fret on the G string and B string. That's creating your G chord. But my first note, I'm actually going to add my middle finger to the 13th fret. on the B string. And I'm going to alternate those strings, starting with the B string. Then I'm going to let go of my middle finger. Then I'm going to add it again. Then I'm going to add my ring finger on the 14th fret G string. And if you were paying attention, I switched to my bridge pickup to get a little bit more brighter tone. So at that point, I didn't add my ring finger. I just left it on that G note, 12th fret G string. So then there's this really cool picking part in the chorus, and that part sounds like this with effects. So that is just an alternating picking part with a lot of delay. When you listen to the recording, it's a little bit more muted. So I actually chose to use my middle pickup for the chorus just because it gives a little bit of a more like mid-direct sound. And I also decided to play it higher up in the neck because it sounds a little bit more warmer. So there's a huge difference between playing it like or just feels like the timbre needs to be a little bit more muted. It's a little bit more of a rhythmic part than it is a lead part. So how I'm playing that is the third note on the third note of the scale. And that's gonna be on the G string 9th fret. Then you're gonna add your ring finger to the 10th fret D string. And then you're gonna be kind of in position to let go of your middle finger down to the 7th fret G string. And I'm alternate picking that. So it's just down, up, down, up, down, up, and you're altering the strings. So then I add my pinky to the 10th fret G string. So I'm going to play it again with effects to see what it sounds like. So the next part of the song I'm going to go over is just another way that you can build up the dynamics and build up the anticipation for the chorus. And it's just it's mimicking the chord progression and the bass note, just kind of reinforcing that bass line. So that's really just the same bass notes, and you're not playing the root and the fifth, you're just playing single notes, and you're muting the strings with your palm. So that's gonna be all downstrokes, all in the A string, 6th string, but that's a way that you can help build up that end of the verse, pre-chorus, into the chorus. So another part that you can play are the diamonds, or the big open chords that you can play. This is one way that you can add to elevate the choruses. So it's a snapshot that's really full, but when you change chords, the delay and reverb really get out of the way to really just emphasize and not really bleed the chords together, but really emphasize and make the chord that you're playing sound full. So that first chord you're gonna play is that straight up C major chord that you're gonna see basically anywhere when you're first starting out learning guitar. And I'm just gonna go over that quick, but it's just a ring finger on the A string, 3rd fret, middle finger, 2nd fret D string, and 1st finger on the 1st fret B string. Don't play your low E string, but leave the other strings open. Okay. Your next chord is the E minor chord, and that's just going to be your 1st finger on the 2nd fret A string and middle finger on the 2nd fret D string. Play all your strings wide open. Then you're going to play your A minor chord, which is going to be your 1st finger on the B string, 1st fret, ring finger on the 2nd fret G string, and middle finger on the 2nd fret D string. Don't play your low E string. Make sure your A string and your high E string ring out. Now your last chord is your F, and so this is going to be different than your traditional F chord. So it's going to be F with C in the bass, and it's a real nice, pretty worship guitar chord. So it's going to be just like your C chord, but fret your C chord, add your pinky to the 3rd fret D string. So instead of it's, and now mute your low E string and let your high E string and G string ring out. So this is the part where it's going to be in the choruses. So you're going to want to hit these chords really hard. So I'm going to play those again. So now I'm going to go over the solo section, which is, it's going to be that last outro. So I'm going to teach you that part, and then I'm going to play it with effects so you can get an idea what it sounds like. Sorry. So this is just going to be your 1st note of the scale, your 2nd note of the scale, and your 3rd, and you're really just kind of sliding in between, but I'm going to play it slow. So it's going to be a hammer on from the 5th fret G string to the 7th fret G string. Then it's going to be a slide and a slide down up 2 frets to the 9th fret. And you're going to be going back and forth. So what I'm doing is I'm actually striking from the 9th fret and pulling down to the 7th fret. All downstrokes. You can even add your 5th fret D string, add that G note. So I'm going to play from that beginning. So now this is where it changes. So just hammering on that 2nd note, and then you're going to repeat that beginning part again. Slide down, let your effects take care of it. Then the last thing I wanted to go over was just, there are some like cool reverse delays, if you have a reverse delay, that I wanted to cover in the patch that I created. And it's just something that if you're looking to fill the space in the verses, there's some cool stuff that you can play, and you could play some of the same licks that I played, that I just showed you. Well, Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave that down below, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one.